Can't figure out. Yeah, it is. It is recording. You popping a Barocca then?
Pop the Barocca in my drink and we can start.
Do you know what I've noticed? Every time we do one of these, I always seem to have a fizzy drink. I've got Dr. Pepper again. I think, yeah, okay. So is it working? Is it in? What sandwiches have you got?
I got
Plant chef.
roasted vegetable hummus and harissa.
Did you know we haven't done this since November 28th?
Yes.
Is that because you overheard me tell a client earlier that we haven't done it since November 28th? How was your Christmas?
Great. I was by myself. It was fucking lovely. It was like the perfect Sunday. I woke up late, took the dog for a walk, made a roast and fell asleep.
I saw your meal. You made yourself 12 pigs in blankets.
It was the perfect, because it was the perfect Christmas dinner. It was just no one to compete. So I had.
Didn't you like?
I like the fact that you complained the fact that I still had like parsnips and broccoli on it.
Yeah, I don't understand why you put broccoli on top. If you have a choice, and you've not got anyone there nagging you to tell you to have vegetables, and yet you still choose to have vegetables on top.
Because I like vegetables. I know it'll blow your mind, but actually, some people like a cheeky.
You want to see what I had? I went round to home with Dad's yesterday, right, and I had a roast, right, and the mountain of mashed potato that I had with it, they kept on saying, "Oh, do you want cabbage?" I was like, "Oh, no."
You have mashed potato with a roast.
Do you not have mashed potato? 'Cause I have roast as well.
No, I made for 12. Like roasties.
Yeah, but you have mash as well.
No.
All right, what do you have on a roast?
Well, for a start, not a great fan of roasts.
You're not.
No, but I went.
So
for a
why
roast
would
yesterday.
so okay? Let's put a pin in this, right? So if you're not a great fan of roasts and you buy yourself on Christmas Day, why would you then torture yourself with a roast if you don't like it?
No, I don't not like it, and I feel like Christmas Day is the exception.
So you like a
They
roast?
just don't thrill me, to be honest.
I'd rather have sushi.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be a vibe, wouldn't
And you would too.
it? Yeah, do you know what? I like quantity sometimes over quality. I am. What? To be fair, I do have to go on a diet, but it's not going very well. Yesterday, right, I made a fantastic sandwich. I've learned that's a talent.
Sandwiches, well, don't speak to a Subway, but they're called Subway artists in Subway. aren't they?
Sandwich artists, yeah.
Fuck you know.
That one up the road, she's not very nice. But she's not an artist. If she is, she's going through a fucking blue period. Educated joke. But yeah, I made a very nice fish finger sandwich.
Nice.
Yeah.
Once again, diet of a 12-year-old.
No, I put on saucy sauce.
Actually.
The saucy sauce is great. I put 2 layers of saucy sauce on, and cheese, and I put red onion in there. You'd have been proud. I had a bit of vegetable. Yeah. And Shannon, I said to her, do you want anything to eat? She was like, nah, not really. And then I tend to make her stuff as well, because I feel like if I'm going to make it, she's undoubtedly just going to eat it anyway. Like, she's going to have a couple of mouthfuls. So I made her some. And then I said, it's good in it. And she was like, annoyingly so.
Yeah.
So, hey up. Is Dale actually... No, he's not. We're trying to convince him to come on this podcast for so long, and he just isn't going to have it.
So how was your Christmas?
Oh, right, yeah, really, really good, actually. Yeah, really good. It was Kennedy's first Christmas, so...
Here we go.
Yeah, I know. The kids again. Yeah, no, he was really well behaved. He actually got really super into opening presents, and for a 6-month-old, that was odd, because you sort of expect them just to be really cryy or miserable. He's being really good at the minute, actually sleeping through the night. And this morning he woke up at 6:30, which is great. In theory, it's great, right?
That's good though.
It's great, yeah. But I get up at 7, so I'd rather him wake up at 3 and me feed him like for 20 minutes at 3, rather than him wake me up half an hour before my alarm. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know whether that's just me being.
Have you had a chat? Have you tried
he's just ignorant and doesn't
Rude.
doesn't apply much to shit. No, but no, it's one of those. Anyway, I was going to ask you, if you shave your balls, right? This is right. So this is
the leg.
Yeah, right.
How long have you been desperate to ask this
yeah,
question?
a while. So it's a barbering podcast, right?
Like hot topics.
Hot topics. Now I've asked Andy this question before. Andy works with us, right? I just clocked the bleach in your hair, and you need to re-bleach your hair.
I need a haircut anyway, but
Yeah.
let's stick with my balls.
Okay, yeah, so let's stick with your balls. What grades do you do your balls? Do you do the same grade all over, or do you do different grades?
Half guard.
Half guard. Oh, very on topic.
Half guard?
Really? Do you not find like down the side, like next to your leg, it starts to itch when you go too short? Because Shannon says my dick's got sideburns.
Not as much as when I pissed myself. Yeah.
Shouldn't have a mouthful of
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
I thought I'd finish that sentence.
Yeah. See, Andy said half on your balls and one on the top.
Well, you actually fade it. That's far too much effort.
Listen, live by the sword, die by the sword.
You can't resist, can you?
No.
Skimpy.
Where do you call it a day, though? Where do you shave down till? Because you shave your arsehole as well.
Oh, good lord.
I tried that once, and it was the itchiest thing going back. Itchiest. Yeah, it was bad.
So many questions I don't want answering.
Because you don't know when to stop. Because if when you lift your balls up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not being funny, right? You can't shave your bollocks and then not lift your bollocks up, right? Because else you just end up with a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so where'd you stop?
I just kind of blend it out.
So you fade your bollocks too.
I guess I do.
There we go. Now we're learning about each other, George. Now we're learning about each other.
Okay, any other...
Just pure kicked you in the legs, isn't it? So me and Dale were talking earlier about experiences with hair. And because I was saying to him, because I keep on trying to pitch it to him. So we obviously discussed how we're going to do guests on this and whatnot, because it is a bit difficult to try and get guests and try and organise all that. So I think I have a way around it, so we'll try and incorporate that into the next ones. But one of the questions I was going to ask Dale, but I will now pitch to you, is what's the worst experience that you've had in hair, or hairdressing, or barbering, or...
Worst experience? I remember once one of the girls in a shop I used to work in was trimming my hair with a pair of thinners on the side. And just me being a dick. Probably just moved or something. I blamed myself to cover it. And she went straight into my earlobe with the thinners. But she went so deep, she panicked, let go of the thinners, and they were still stuck closed in my ear. And I had to kind of pull them apart.
That's horrendous.
Yeah, and it bled so badly.
So wait, I've got questions here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one, how sharp were these fucking thinners? And were they like the 45-degree angle sort of sharp ones, or were they just normal ones? Two,
No, they were just normal ones.
Not to touch on any nerves here, but neither of us are follicularly blessed. Why was she thinning your hair?
Because she wasn't that good at blending, so she just bashed the shit out of the side.
Are you gonna name names?
No, because she scares me. And I still
Is
am friends with her.
it someone I know?
Yeah, well, you know of, and I'm friends with her.
I know! I know!
So I'm ex.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh no! I thought it was someone else that I know.
No,
not okay, cool.
Not him. Her.
Him? Oh, there's
it was
options.
Girl. It was Bex.
Okay, cool. It was Bex. Bex, stick to hairdressing. So mine. I was saying this before. Thanks for asking.
Wow, somebody's needy today.
Yeah, I do. Give me attention. So I was working in Telford, and obviously there's a yeah.
End of story.
End of story. Point improvement. Cut and paste. And a few things happened there because I was working in Dawley. Now, for those that don't know, Dawley and Telford is a renowned place for ruffians and scallywags. So the amount of times that I've broken up fights between drug dealers in the shop, it's quite excessive, really. Got between the owner and drug dealers. And
at what point does it become excessive? I feel like 2 is more than enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of place where, when I first started dating Shannon, and, I was talking to her parents about where I worked and whatnot, her mum's one of these where she's brilliant at it, but, if the route that you're travelling has, the smallest crash, she'll tell you. She'll find out before you're even awake. So she found out that there'd been some sort of incident, which I'm assuming was a stabbing, indoorly. And she texted me being like, "Oh, be careful, there's been a stabbing indoorly." And at that point, I was stood outside the shop with, and I took a photo of it, and I was like, "Yeah, I can see it's pretty much the shop over." And it was just like that all the time. Axes were... There's this one guy that had... can't really say the word, I can't really go into it, but like, he had very explicit graffiti, like literally the shop opposite us, explicit graffiti, like put down the side of his shop wall, like... Along those lines, on like a New Year's Day. So I had to call, not New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, and I had to call this guy up on a New Year's Eve and be like, "You should probably get to your restaurant, mate." And it was pretty rough. So there was that. I had one guy literally commando... So we had shutters, obviously, so you get the idea of how rough this place is. So we had metal shutters, right? So metal shutters, for me to be able to get in, have to be at a certain height, just so I can literally unlock the door and get under. Not crawl, but, So... I never used to lock the door, right? Because I thought, well, the shutters are basically at the floor, like they're not going to get in. But this one guy, so I was round the back doing my business because at that point, I struggled to work there. I was there for quite a while, but it takes a big toll on you. So like I was drinking like a litre of coffee in the morning, and 4 cigarettes before I even opened the door. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, so I was doing my business around the back, and then I heard a kerfuffle around the front, came around the front, and this guy is literally crawling on his belly. He's crawling.
Are you open?
Literally, right? Swear to God. He goes, "Are you open?" You've just commando crawl. What gets better, right? I said, "You've just commando crawled into the shop." No? And he goes, and this, he hadn't even got up, right? He was still on he was still on the floor talking to me. And then he goes, "Oh, all right, mate, what time do you open?" And I was like, 9. And he was still on the floor, and then he turns around and calls cow. And at that point, I was like, "I fucking hate working here." There was that, and then there was a guy that once came in. He was now, picture this, right? A cold tin of beans. Alright, I'll set the scene. A cold tin of beans that he'd opened, and he was chugging it as if he was drinking like a can of Coke or something, right? And he was chugging these beans. And I'm assuming it was beans in this bean can, right? Now, it was all down his face and shit. Right, as it would be, obviously, if you chugging a tin of bean. And he comes in and goes, "All right, mate, do you do fades?" And I'm like, "Oh, fucking hell, one of these, right?" Already I'm judging him because he's got beans all down his face, and it's in the middle of the afternoon. And he goes, "Do you do fades?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I've done 1 or 2, but I'm sure this one will be fine," sort of thing, And he goes, "Oh, right, I'm looking to get my hair cut like a Peaky Blinders." And I was like, "Fuck me!" Like that whole phase. I'm glad the show's not. I love the show. Glad it's not on anymore.
Oh well, I've got news about that. But
oh, okay. There's a film, isn't there?
No, Gillian Murphy's bringing out a new series, and I do a scriptwriter for it. And
really?
He says, "Prepare yourself. He's got a worse haircut in this."
Fuck's sake.
And it's going to become a craze. But
great.
Yeah.
So and then so then he sits in my chair, wipes the beans off his face. And he goes, I said, "So which character are you going for? Are we talking Tommy? Are we talking Arthur? Or what?" Yeah. And he generally goes, "Don't know, I've never seen the show."
Oh. It's just painful.
It is, isn't
so painful. I do like going to the barbering of that show. Is in the first series, the haircuts are really rough and ready. And then as the series and as they develop, their haircuts get sharper and sharper.
Yes, because they got more money.
Yeah, and I like that little.
But also, what it is, it's like 50, 60-year-old blokes coming in, and these haircuts are designed for like Cillian Murphy. They're designed for, I don't know who plays. Yeah, they're designed
suited,
for
booted, pocket watch,
exactly,
not Capuchakis and a Nike pair of shoes.
Yeah, straight up. They're not there for like your sort of Sports Direct fucking tracksuits and all that sort of stuff. It's And then the thing is, have you ever actually done it? Have you ever actually done a Peaky Blinders cut to someone, and you kind of go, "Do you know what? Fuck it. You want what you want," and you've done it, and then they go, "Uh-oh." You go, "Yeah, This is the hell
I
that you
like
chose.
it. Can
Die
you
on this
blend
hill.
it a bit more?
Yeah, it's always the same, isn't it? Can you blend it a bit more, isn't it? But like, fucking hell. Like, I've never really... Oh, Shannon's messaged.
Oh, don't let us distract you.
Oh,
You
no.
crack
Do you know
on
what?
with your phone.
Straight up, last night, right, we were lying in bed, and I was doing a bit of research. Well, I said research. I was doing a bit for the podcast, right?
Please don't. Do you shave your balls?
No, and Shannon was watching this live psychic reading.
Okay.
Yeah, on her phone.
Forgot that's your girlfriend before we went in then.
No, but she was watching a couple of weird things. There was
Just
just
put it away. You just put it away.
she was obviously. I don't know whether you know, we have a kid, right? So I know, go on about it. They're like, Christ. But she was watching a couple of videos, and she was this one woman that has, I think they're called Reborn. It's quite creepy, but it serves a purpose. Like these reborn babies, which are like life-looking dolls, right?
Right.
Which people.
Oh yeah, there's a sad story about this.
Yeah, there is a sad story generally, but this woman was like, there was a few months back there was like a formula shortage, right?
Right.
But this woman was buying formula, and then there was a big thing like, you don't need formula
For the doll.
Yeah, and everyone's like, just use Coffee Mate or some shit.
Just use what?
Yeah, but no,
That's not the point.
That's not the point. And no, she took a break off social media and was like, I've decided I'm not going to use flour because it clogs up the bottles and it's hard to clean. So I'm going to use Coffee Mate. And in my head, I was like, yeah, smart.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I did. She was flipping through this. She spent ages on these live Facebook psychic readings. Not because she was into it or anything like that. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Shannon does like a psychic reading, but the live Facebook ones seem kind of ridiculous.
So when you clock onto it, are they reading? So she's there typing saying, "Will you do me?" And then they just make.
I think so, but
surely there's no connection over. Well, it's bullshit anyway.
Yeah, but
It was real, but
he said this guy because it was a couple. Now I'm already a bit creeped out by couples like like you see them on TikTok and whatnot. And have you seen them two girls that they'll they'll sing to each other, and it's like, "Baby, you're all that I want." It's fucking horrendous. And there's I think they share 3 teeth between them. But it's those sort of things that I really get the ick for. And he was sat there and he was saying about, oh, I can do private readings on Zoom as well. And
for
imagine
only £50 a month.
straight up, it was 50 quid. Right? Yeah. No, a session.
See,
Imagine
a psychic.
Yeah, that's what George. Maybe you got a job there. But no, it was really weird. And then he was sitting there I've always thought that they can sit there and be like, okay, I'm sensing something, and literally, I don't know, fucking Margaret types in, my dad recently passed away. I would like to connect with him. And then you can imagine him that his eyes roll back in his head. He's touching his temple and he's going, is there someone called Margaret in the room? Has your father recently passed away? You're thinking, fuck! This guy's incredible.
When I was a kid, a load of us went stoned
Yeah.
to a private reading. It's the best thing ever. And then I must have just had a little giggle. So he focused on me.
Yeah.
So I just thought, oh fuck it, I'm going to go with this, and just said yes to everything.
Oh no.
Oh, the bloke.
I bet he lit up. I bet he lit up as well. Yeah.
I think he was saying stuff and then was surprised that I was saying yes to everything. So he got
He's
was
walked away
oh,
and going, shit, I'm good at this.
Completely that.
You're there, your eyes are red, and you're going, yeah, to everything he says.
Yeah. So yeah,
We should probably get back to.
Barbecue.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to something I put a pin in before. So you were talking about your worst hair experience. Now, not to name any names, but you actually enjoyed working where you worked, right? For 15 years, you worked at Tony & Guy.
Yeah.
Right. Now, Tony & Guy work with L'Oreal, Label M, GHD, and I think called Colour Wow and all this. Do you find that working... Because obviously they're very specific about what they use, aren't they?
Yes.
You can't really be like, oh, I've got this, so I'm going to use this, right? So do you find that now it's more difficult or easier because you've got more freedom of using whatever you want to use? Or do you miss knowing those products inside out?
My answer to that.
But
So, I did enjoy having our own product range because it's all there. You just go and grab it. You can get the knowledge. We're also very much hands-on with the development of it. So if there was a product that we needed, we could speak to head office.
Well, that's cool.
And they'd work through, because the art team basically were the ones that made the product. So that was quite nice.
How do you mean made the product? Are you talking about the Tony and Guy products?
So we brought out a texture spray, which was basically hairspray crossed with a wax for like a beach holdy kind of thing. The wax stick Tony and Guy invented because they were doing session work at fashion shows and stuff like that, and they didn't like the fact that every time they used a wax, their hands would get the thing. So wax stick you can apply with keeping your hands clean.
That's really cool.
So that's why
I didn't even know that was a
came
thing.
about. Yeah, that's why the wax stick came about. So things like that. So that was quite nice. However, it is nice having freedom to work, because I don't think one product range can cater for everything.
No, I agree.
I think you need products from bits and bobs. I think also a lot of people are a bit kind of like style over substance. They kind of want, say, uppercut pomades, very slick hair. They don't. It looks cool to use, and it's an amazing product range.
Yeah.
But me personally, my style does not suit that. So there's no point me going after uppercut, because I don't do slick pomades.
Yeah.
I'm not like Charlie Venn and those kind of styles. Shout out to him.
Well, he actually does. He does use uppercut. He's an uppercut ambassador.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Well,
there you go. Yeah.
So I think some people kind of don't think that. I think if you're looking for a new product range, look at your style before ranges. Decide what you want. Make a little note during your day saying, I need something to get texture in there. I need something that's lighter, hairspray. A lot of hairsprays are heavy. I really like the new Schwarkart volume lift because it's light, it's flexible.
That,
It's been stolen.
Yeah, yours has,
It's gone missing.
I've just run out. I'll be honest. I don't know. Since I've obviously winning the last thing, I got a load of Dapper Dan stuff, and I've been using that, and I find that quite versatile. But I've had bad experiences in the past with products, like representing products and all that sort of stuff. When you enter into when you enter the industry and someone chucks a ambassadorship your way, you go, oh, you're God, yeah.
Yeah.
And if hindsight's a bitch, do you know what I mean? So I don't want to work with brands specifically for the exact reason that you said. But do you find that, like, when you were at Tony and Guy, you knew those products inside out?
Oh, Christ, yeah. We got sent on product courses.
Yeah.
We'd sit down in the afternoon, like we'll do workshops as a team, and we'd make product workshops. We were encouraged to remix, which was when you kind of put two products together.
I call that cocktailing, don't I?
Yeah. Which is really useful to do.
Yeah, especially for this like same brand as well.
Yeah, you just got to be careful that it's not a cheap brand and the chemicals start infusing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
are there any products right now that you're living for?
What products am I living for?
Or you
really like
just
the Crazy Bull sea salt spray.
Yeah. I've not used that, you know. We stock a load of Crazy Bull in here, but I've not really used too much of it.
It's a proper salty sea salt spray. Sometimes it's dry.
That's a base requirement, really, for a sea salt spray.
You say that, but a lot of sea salt sprays are just wet.
Yeah.
And
they've got to be
just
one.
get heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got to be.
Whereas the Crazy Bull one, I find very dry, very salty.
Yeah. No, I find the same with Dapper Dan.
Yeah.
Dapper Dan, because I gave you one of the Dapper Dan ones.
You did.
How are you getting on with that?
I like it. I really like.
In comparison, because I haven't used
the mistiness of it.
Well, I haven't used the Crazy Bull one in comparison. So how does that?
I'm not putting two companies together. They're both right in their own little way.
Do you know what? Like, I like there was a company that came out a couple of years ago. They sent me some testers called Brosh, right? And apparently, I've only recently learned this, that Brosh developed products just for... yeah, I know, he's having a little moment, isn't he? So Brosh developed products that are exclusively for type 1, like, Asian hair. And it's developed by, obviously, people with type 1 hair. And I thought, well, that's mad, isn't it? But it's quite greasy, but I'm guessing it's obviously strong and holds them down.
Yeah.
So... I don't know. I think it's difficult to sort of commit to one brand specifically unless you know it inside out.
I don't understand why you need to. Like, you don't. One product range doesn't.
No, hi Dale. Are you actually going to jump in? Come on. Don't wash your hands. Don't walk in there and wash your hands and just disturb a podcast.
I don't like it.
What, you don't like talking?
No.
Why?
Because I'm a quiet individual.
Oh, fuck off. I mean, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Dale, why don't you answer 2
I know what you're doing here.
Will you answer 2 questions?
What was the first question?
Okay, so George already answered it, and so have I. And Andy.
Right, I'll answer this question, and that's it. I'm off to sweep.
Okay, cool. Right, can you not put that on?
Fucking hell.
We'll just wait until that's done. Yeah, thanks, George. Okay. So the question is, what grade do you shave your balls?
You haven't answered this.
Yes.
It's got to be a grade 2, isn't it?
Grade 2.
Grade 2,
That's quite long.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have quite a
6 mil all over.
You have quite a fairly.
You don't want to get too short 'cause it starts to.
Well,
itch.
no, yeah. I said that it starts to itch, but we were discussing at what point do you stop?
Well, a 3's not going to take it. You're going to start snagging on a 3, aren't you?
Yeah. So at what point do you?
What do you go down to?
I go to like a half. Yeah, man.
What, you risk?
No, but I do
half guard.
No,
A half guard or.
Mate, I got fucking hands of a surgeon.
Fucking
So like I do half guard across my nuts, right? But then I go, you know, like how when you do a beard, you don't go up, you go down.
Yes.
Yeah. So I do that at the top. I go down. Right.
Okay. Why do you have to look me so clearly in the eyes?
Well, Andy does a 1.
What?
Andy does a 1 on the top. Yeah.
As long as it's got a guard on. And it's safe.
Yeah, you know.
Gonna
Like-
pinch your fucking
I was saying to George, you ever
skin.
you ever like you ever shaved your actual asshole?
Oh, all the time.
All the
At
time.
the same time.
What? I mean, like shaved it clean.
Oh no.
Oh god, I've done that once and it itched like fuck.
Oh god, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
It's like Velcro when it comes back. You try and wipe your ass, and all of a sudden you're hearing.
No, it's when you shave it and then fart.
No, he's got a point. He's got a point. It's horrendous.
Just collapse.
Oh, you fucker.
Right, can you get out now? Because it was fun having you here. Thanks for answering about your bollocks, but
Didn't think that was going to be the question that you're going to ask.
he's annoyed. So, all right. Well, can you? Thanks, Dale. Never mind, mate. How to interrupt a podcast 101. I'm going to ask him another question. I'm going to ask him a good question.
Okay.
Right. So I'll start with you. Right.
Oh.
Actually, do you know what? I put a thing out. And this will actually be a really nice question to ask Dale as well, because it's actually a nice question, right?
Okay.
Don't put that in the fucking vacuum, right?
Hey.
So I got asked a question last night on one of the stories,
Mm.
which was, I'd love to know what you like to do beyond barbering and why.
Oh yeah.
So what do we all like to do beyond barbering and why?
It's quite a good question.
Go on, Dale. You're now the
Well, obviously,
the
I'm a
random
father
guest.
of 2, so my life revolves around the kids.
Well, keep it light.
You've got a violin. No, but straight up it does. Your life changes, so I'm doing lots of kiddie things.
Me too!
Yeah.
I just do that.
He's just not allowed by schools. That's the problem. Yes,
Now, what do I like to do? I play football. I like to go to the gym.
No, you don't. Don't lie.
I like to explore
Yeah.
and go on adventures.
My days off are precious, so
Go on, then.
I literally take the kids to football. I tell my dad I have to do
This
kid
is not
stuff.
a career. If you chose a different career, so I've got
Hey.
2. I've always liked the idea of being a tailor.
A tailor?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'd be a car
Savile Row.
salesman.
So there you go.
So what, cupping bollocks and shit? Because you've got to do that.
Who cuts your bollocks when you go?
Mate, have you never had a good suit? Have you never had a good suit, or have I just been fingered by too many people?
You've never been to a good suit shop before.
Yeah, that's what they do. They cup your bollocks.
They mess you up and send
Mate,
you
they do.
hospices.
No, not in hospice. In Bernardo's, I
What
go
would
in.
you do if you didn't do this? Don't say a tattooist.
Why does everyone assume I'd be a
You're
tattooist?
about to say it.
No, I wasn't.
Go on then.
I don't know.
You're gonna make one up now.
Yeah, I don't know. What would I think I'd like to be like some kind of like video.
Ventriloquist.
No, ventriloquist. No, like a video editor. Ventriloquist.
It's a dying trade.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. No, I think I'd like to.
It's awful.
Yeah, I'd work on the Muppets. Oh, hey everyone. No, I think I'd like to be a video editor.
Video editor.
Yeah, something still creative.
Ellie used to be a video blogger. Anyway,
George is dyslexic, just for the record.
Oh,
Yeah, I'd
that's been
definitely be a
mentioned,
car
isn't it?
salesman. Anything to do with cars. Love cars.
You're not that convincing. Like, it depends what car you were selling, though.
I
'Cause
just-
if
I
you
think
were
when
working
I
at,
think
if you're working at like fucking Ford,
I think there's a lot of connection between barbering, hairdressing, and sales. I think,
Oh, huge.
yeah,
You reckon?
pretty much what we do.
I just think every time I've been there, I've never been treated properly. I think there's a gap for me.
Oh, I'm the same with Aldi.
I'm the same with Aldi. You just get stressed out when they start chucking food your way.
God.
Isn't that the worst, though?
Oh, I've got to ring this.
Okay, well, thank you very much for being on the podcast. Chiropractor. Listen to this guy.
I'm a barber.
Thanks, Dale. So, Aldi, let's go back to that. How much does that stress you out? You know when you're right at the end?
I've just given up. I just throw my.
Oh, I hate it so much.
I just put my trolley at the end and then just sweep my arm across and put it in.
Yeah. No, and I think they know that they're doing it.
Yeah.
And they don't make the end big enough. You know, like in Morrison's and
Well,
Tesco's
they
and stuff.
check, don't they have to do a certain amount of products within an hour? Or
Do
a
they?
minute or... Yeah, I'm sure they've got...
I don't know. Do you know
policy.
what? I'd like to call someone that's worked at Aldi. Do we know anyone?
Back in the day, when Aldi first came out, they didn't even have proper tills. They had to have a code for everything.
And they had to know it off by heart as
Yeah.
well, because it used to pay... This might just be
Rumours.
rumours, yeah. This might just be rumours. We might just be chatting shit. But they had to pay a substantial amount. Not they paid their employees quite a lot. I think back in the day when like minimum wage was like 6-7 quid, they were going for like 9 quid, and that was quite a big steep. Big thing back then. So it's one of those, really, isn't it? But like, I don't know. 9 times out of 10 these days, like jobs are advertised all over the shop, aren't they? So like, what even is minimum wage now?
12.
12?
I think, or is that living wage?
I think that's London's living wage.
Oh, is it?
£12 excessive.
Yeah, but I think it's gone up quite a lot.
There was it a guy in your chair the other day that was talking about economics,
Probably.
and he was
If anybody's going to be chatting about
true, it's yours. But like, he was talking about how if the minimum wage goes up, and people paying for their value and stuff. Or was that Andy's chair? Like companies that in America, so they pay their employees based on their value to the company. So an 18-year-old will not need as much as a 50-year-old with a mortgage, 2 kids, and a car. So, if that 50-year-old's been there for 20 years and the 18-year-old only does a Saturday position, it wouldn't be fair to pay them both the same amount.
Yeah.
So, by increasing the minimum wage, if that 18-year-old isn't bringing you in, I don't know, let's say they're paid £10 an hour, but they're not actually even bringing you £20 an hour, they're only bringing you in £10 an hour, you're not making a profit on that 18-year-old, so they're kind of useless.
Yeah.
I found that really interesting. Was that your client?
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was.
And also that's interesting in hair salons because receptionists and apprentices are dead money. They're not bringing in, so it is quite difficult for people for employment for that way as well.
Apprentices are a difficult thing, and especially like gaining traction as an apprentice. I think. How do you feel like, especially if we're talking about younger apprentices, right? Because when I was an apprentice, I started at 23. Why did you start at?
Straight from school, college.
Oh, really?
16.
Oh, Christ. Yeah, because like they're having to use different sorts of social media means, which obviously we've all adapted to an extent. But like, as we move, we sort of look at TikToks and stuff like. Do you think TikTok's got a big impact on the industry, or do you think just Instagram's just always going to be the industry favourite? Because there's been a lot of companies, hasn't there, that's tried to be like, oh, we're going to be the next Instagram, but it just
Yeah, but I think social media is now flopping. I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think that bubble's been popped 5 years ago with the Luca Chitty, the Frank from Monster down in Bristol. You know, Toasty Styles, all that lot were in the hub of it.
Oh, like Cal Newsom, yeah. That was when. So yeah, because I remember reading an interview with Cal, and people asked him how he got so big on Instagram, and he said it was because he got there early.
Yeah.
He got in early and he used the right sort of hashtags and used all this. I mean, you can use hashtags now, but it's hit and miss. Like,
and also, like, people aren't using social media in the same way anymore.
No, it's not a tool.
Yeah.
I've noticed.
I was at my mate's house the other day, and they've got Kira's 15, I think.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody on WhatsApp, and she said, "Oh my God, you're still using WhatsApp, you old man."
What?
I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, everybody's on Snapchat." I was like,
"You can't conduct business over Snapchat."
No, I know, but this is the thing. Everybody's on Snapchat now. I think like Instagram's becoming Facebook, which is dead.
Yeah, Facebook apparently is dead.
Which is difficult. So, say tomorrow it all closes down.
Yeah.
How are you going to market yourself? If you take away your social media stuff?
Well, I suppose it depends on reputation as well. What reputation you've built.
I think that's the most important.
Well, absolutely. I think it's a way of connecting, though, isn't it? It's like I think if Instagram, Facebook, whatever went down tomorrow, I think we'd be fine because we've both got full columns. We're fine. If we were starting in a new town, in a new shop,
I think we're lucky as well being in a small town. But actually, word of mouth.
It's a strange town, isn't it? Because it's like it's bang in the middle of everywhere. It's very much it's like on the border of Wales. It's on the way to Liverpool. It's on the way to Manchester. It's on the way to Birmingham. It's a direct train to London. We're very much in. Well, the Midlands is very much like a gateway to everywhere, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but what I was saying is more the size of the town. Actually, word of mouth can get around. Whereas cities, I spoke to someone who worked in a salon on Islington train station. It was quite interesting because she said, we were talking about kind of refill, and they never have retention because they work on passing traffic, which means that she didn't really have to care about her cuts because she's got guaranteed footfall.
True. I think the thing is where guaranteed footfall is concerned. Like being in here in the shop that we're in, we don't get any footfall because we're in a shopping centre that's privately owned.
It's niche.
It's niche. Yeah.
What other shops in this place? We've got a coin shop, a tailor, a model shop where people travel far and wide.
A soap shop.
Which is becoming quite popular.
Three cosmetic places. Yeah.
One of the biggest in the country.
Yes, yeah, and then 2 hairdressers, a nice restaurant downstairs which does get quite busy, and like there's
the calf.
Yeah, big up the calf. And then there's one shop which literally sells pictures of celebrities.
Yeah.
Oh, that's new, isn't it?
That's new. I've never seen that.
I walked past it the day and thought.
I imagine that's one of those shops that actually their internet traction's what keeps the bills.
Yeah. There used to be a place called Cashmere and Silk here, and I'm assuming that had a lot of trade from internet.
Yeah, I went in once, touched a scarf, saw the price, left pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's very different, like very expensive stuff. Cashmere is gorgeous, though, isn't it? Oh, it feels fantastic. It feels absolutely lovely. But no, I don't know. I think you probably have to do the old-fashioned thing. I remember when I first started as an apprentice, I had to go out. Into the public and be like, "Hello, would you like a haircut?" sort of thing.
I did that when I started here.
Oh yes, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
And we had someone the other day from that.
Yeah.
I told you about that.
Mostly that was literally just so people see that I'm here.
Yeah.
Walk around town with your t-shirt. You don't have to talk to people. It's just making people aware you exist. And that's like, I didn't really care if they take flowers or flyers.
Flowers?
That was the next step.
Yeah.
I just gave people roses.
Yes. Hello, my queen. No, but that's the thing, because you came from a different town, I came from a different town, but I was lucky, but also not lucky in the way that when I started, I had a couple of weeks and then it was lockdown.
Yeah.
That worked in my favour to an extent, because it meant, well, everyone in lockdown was just sat on their phones, and I just thought, well, there's ways of doing this. So, I mean, if everyone's going to be sat on their phones, I sat and I gave myself like a rota Like every day, I was just plug in, and I was using the small amount of sort of haircuts that I'd already done, plugging those on certain sites, like we're talking about TikTok and all that. I think I'd plugged TikTok a little bit, but I think I was a bit too fast and furious with it. TikTok's I don't know, maybe I'm old. It's a thing that I haven't quite figured out yet. And I don't have Snapchat, but I found that like Facebook, for example. So if I were to post things on Facebook, so Facebook Marketplace, I know Facebook Marketplace, dads are looking at. I know Facebook seller pages, mums are looking at.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like or like like community groups. I know mums are looking at. Instagram, I know that like sort of people our age are looking at. So it's one of those. It's who you want to advertise and what you want to advertise, because obviously, let's say I was quite fortunate in a way, because let's say the first few cuts that come through the door are all buzz cuts, and if that's all I've got to advertise, people are going to come in for buzz cuts, aren't they? Because you're going to attract what you advertise. Whereas I was quite fortunate because a lot of them came in and they were very skin fades and quite weight line heavy, and that was nice. So I was able to establish my signature style quite early on, which was nice because when I came back from lockdown, I was then fully booked.
Do you think it's quite important to find a style, because then you can promote it easily? You can kind of find an identity quickly.
I think that's a very similar question that you would ask a tattooist. Because a tattooist, for example, has to do their bread and butter for a long time. The butterflies, the tribal, the scripts, they have to do that for a long time before they have enough of a reputation to be able to go, right, this is what I do.
Yeah.
If you don't like that, that's fine. Like, you don't have to have it done. And the thing is, they can turn down work as well because they're like, no, I don't want to do that. And I think you have to have enough reputation behind you to be able to go, this is what I do. Like, so if someone sits in my chair now and they'll say, I don't know, I want a skin fade, I don't ask them whether or not they want it low, medium, or high. I know that's...
No, completely.
Do you know what I mean?
Never do.
Yeah. I sort of go with, okay, cool, well, you
just bang a high one in it.
Yeah, straight up, bang, high fade, done. Yeah. Straight up. I'll sort of go with what sort of suits their head and where the sort of parietal ridge sits and how it's going to sort of come away from the head and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to look at what suits their head shape rather than... don't get me wrong, you do get the odd one that comes in and goes, I've got a picture of this that I found online. But I do try, I don't know about you, but I do try and tell people that, like, okay, this is what you've got online. That's not your head. No haircut's going to look the same. And I've got a couple of clients that like, oh, whatever you did last time, I love that. And you have to say, listen, it's never going to be perfectly the same because you've got billions of hairs on your head. Do you know what I mean? I can get it pretty damn close, but like, I don't know.
I have to say, it's not going to be exactly the same because, to be honest, I can't remember who the fuck you are. I came 6 months ago, but loved it. Can I just get the same again?
Yeah.
It's like, mate, I've done a couple of cuts between that.
Yeah, when people come in and they're like once every 6 months and they're like same as before. It's actually funny. I've got one client that does literally come in every 6 months. And because he does that, I remember him.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, I know what you have. And he just has a 2-back and sides with a taper, to be perfectly honest. Right. But like...
Yeah, there's only so much you can read a cut.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, if they've come in like 2 weeks either side, I'm like, okay, I can read my hair patterns here. I can see that it was me, it was you, or it was Andy or George. Dale that did it. And I'm like, okay, cool. I know who's done this. I know this, that, and the other. What are your... Can you tell telltale signs if I've done something?
Yeah, because you've got the strongest style out of us all.
I suppose, yeah, it's just heavy weight lines. Yeah, true.
Yeah, we've all got very... not unique.
I think they're subtle tells.
Yeah. If you could quite easily do a lineup and be like George Cup, Dale Cup.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, 100%.
All top quality of...
Oh, very nice! Very nice, sir! You flirt. If you could work in any other barbershop in the country, in the world, where would you work? No pressure. Right on there. I came out of the gate with that.
Yeah. So many barbershops going through my head. I'd go back to a hair salon.
Would you?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Just to get something different. I couldn't work full time in the hairstyle. I'm done and dusted. I've done that. There's so many things I do miss about it, so I'd like to do a week somewhere.
You'd like to do little guest spots?
Mm,
I'd love to do guest spots again, you know.
no, my anxiety wouldn't. I couldn't do that.
Turn up like, I'm so sorry!
Oh, God, yeah. Just, yeah.
No, I did a couple of guest spots in, well, I did one in Malta and one in Birmingham.
Why don't you do a shout out?
Well, you're not guaranteed.
Please take him. If anybody wants him, good deal.
You're sort of not guaranteed a full column. Oh, yeah. And, like, also, I wouldn't want to go too far away because got a son.
Oh,
I know. But, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those. But I like the idea of it, but also the logistics of it and the reality of it.
see, if I was doing a guest spot, I'd do it for networking, meeting new people. Be intriguing just to work in different shops, see how different places work.
Yeah.
Because even though we're all in the same trade,
everyone works
shops are
differently,
different.
yeah. I think I'd like low-key hate that, though. Like, I'd sort of turn up and be like, right, I just do my own thing, like turn up, set up lights. Oh, you can't have that light there. I'd be like, you what?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? I think you get to that point where, I mean, we're quite fortunate, and we're pretty much we can do whatever we want, really, to an extent in here. But you go to other places, and like I know some places they won't let you take photos of your own cuts and post it on your own socials, which is protecting the business. I understand that, but at the same time, it's like surely you posting that on your own socials, building your column, isn't detrimental to the business. Okay, you're protecting the business, but at what cost?
I think it's an insecurity of a boss if they're not wanting their staff to promote their own work.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? Because all that essentially does is just force someone out the door.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. I mean, I'm not naming names, but I know a couple of people that have recently started. Well, then again, he's not with them anymore. And he recently started at this barber shop. A lot. I mean, you know what I'm on about. Lots of passion, like lots and lots of passion. He started at this barber shop, and this is the barber shop, which is like not the kind of back alley barber shop, like no consultation, pick up and chop. If you do anything different, oh, that's not how we do it. It's not proper barbering.
Yeah.
And he started talking about all Josh OP stuff. He was doing Josh OP courses, and he was really investing. And he went to barber bashers and all this sort of stuff. And it was almost like he went to this shop, and he just wasn't on the same wavelength as them because he wanted something more. But that didn't stop him from putting the work in and being enthusiastic. But it was almost because he was too enthusiastic. I'm assuming it was just intimidating.
Yeah.
Because they ended up getting rid of him and saying, "Oh, we're just on different paths." And I thought he wasn't allowed to upload pictures to his socials, but they didn't mind stories. How weird that?
Yeah, that's very strange, but yeah, it's complete insecurity.
Yeah, it's got to be, isn't it? Because, like, ultimately, if I didn't upload anything to the socials, we haven't got a lot of footfall here, as I said before, I'd be sitting around waiting. I'd be sitting around waiting for clients to walk in, and which might not even happen. So, I don't know. It's a difficult one, maybe, isn't it?
Fatal thumbs.
What have you got planned then? What's coming up?
In
everything.
Oh, in live.
Yeah.
Shoots.
Yes, we've got one lined up. This is your shoot.
It's my shoot, so pushing that.
Who's that inspired by? There's someone that's been inspired by to do that.
Yeah, it's a quite difficult name. I can never remember it. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Maybe different.
Yeah, we're only using one model for it, aren't we?
Yes, and it's going to be a panel of colours, and it's going to be a strong image.
I had a message through. In fact, a couple of people have messaged me recently on socials asking about shoots. And I just want to point this out there. They're so easy to organise, aren't they?
Yeah, because we've done a few. I think there's a lot of... When you first start models, it's always models. Priorities your model. I know it's... Technically, I should be saying, get your style, get your model for the type of hair. But if you're starting out for your first shot, just get your model sorted, and then everything else is a breeze.
Yeah.
It will just all fall into place. I know it's ideal to be like, right, I want to do this trim and go away. Let that come in future. But for your first shoot, just to kind of like get the ball rolling, just get a model.
Get something. Not even like, don't even pay for a model. Like get.
No,
like,
God, use your clients. Get a little black book. Every time you do a client that you like their hair, write their name in the book with what hair type it is. Start laying foundation. Just say how you like. Free haircut. Do you mind coming back?
Yeah.
I love your hair. Big them up. Just say your clients love you. They're with you for a reason. They'll be happy to do it. If they say no, fuck it. Ask somebody else. But that's my advice. If you want to do a shoot, and also do a shoot for you. First one, maybe don't even publish, but just get it done.
No, absolutely.
I love the fact I can sit here and say all that. I'm like 13 years in, I'm doing my first.
But more than 13 years in, George. Let's not be.
Alright.
No, I don't know. I find it baffling, but also about how people assume it's very difficult to do. But I suppose when you say the word model, like I've never bought a model in my life. I've only used clients.
Yeah.
Like, Christ, that one mullet I do on Lewis, I've got miles out of that.
If you pay for a model, you're limited.
Yeah.
If you get one of your clients, so much more freedom.
Oh God, yeah. And you say,
but just communications.
Yeah, completely. Communication's key. But it's one of those, isn't it, where like, I don't know, I'm just like, hey man, let's do this.
So what were the people asking you when they...
Like, just how to go about it. Because it's one of those things, like, when I first started with Dale, I wanted to be in magazines and stuff, right? And he goes, have you tried asking them? And I was like, what? Yeah, it's as easy as asking a magazine. Being like, hey man, do you want this? Like, I've done this, this is cool.
The strength of an email is incredible.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we're in a position where if we talk about photo shoots where... okay, cool, we've got a shop which is big enough to do it. You are also a professional photographer. We have access to things. But it's not unobtainable. Like, Christ, there's some shoots at all. There's some shoots that I've done. I don't know anything about photography, really. I've just picked up Dale's camera before, and that's won awards. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've used those pictures that I've taken, which aren't even shoots. In fact, the professional shoot that I did, I haven't won awards with. But the ones that I've just taken, like the chair shots and all that, yeah, I've won awards with them.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. I haven't actually thought about it until now.
Yeah.
But that shoot has been front cover of magazines.
Yeah.
So it's still something to be proud of. Absolutely, I love.
That's the other thing that people don't realise with a shoot is that the versatility of just having an image. You can send off to magazines. You can send off to competitions. You can do so much with one shoot.
Yeah, well, absolutely. George, I feel like you're sat really far away from me.
I'm the same distance.
You're not the same distance. I'm looking at the wavelengths here and like, see, you're coming closer and closer and closer. Right, I think we're going to try and do this a little bit more frequently now we've got Christmas out of the way.
Oh, thank goodness. It was tough. December.
I didn't find it too bad this year. I don't know about you.
I was a broken man on Christmas Eve. I was just...
Eating your 12 fucking pigs in blankets. Be like, alright, Sunday roasts. Oh man. But yeah, no, we'll try and get these done a little bit more accurately and uploaded a little bit more in the future. I'm obviously try and get guests and all that because I've got a few things coming up in which I'm going to be able to record people and I'm going to be able to do this, that and the other.
Don't reveal all our secrets so soon.
Well, I've not told them who it's going to be.
No.
So, could be anyone. Woo!
Excellent.
George, do you want to anxiety trumpet out?